What is going on, everybody? It is Crypto Bobby. Hope you are having a great day, great night, wherever you're watching or listening in from. And today, if you have any money in the traditional markets and or the crypto markets, unless you are short, you are probably getting your face ripped off quite a bit. A lot of good stuff to cover, including a congressional hearing with one of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency's most avid haters out there. So should be a fun day, a lot of FUD to cover and dive into in this episode. So one of the big things that I think a lot of people talk about on a consistent basis, or it's been like a growing narrative, is the fact that, pretty much the entire existence of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole, the general traditional stock markets, stocks, equities, have performed very well. It has basically been a bull run ever since the pretty much global financial collapse in 2008, after the recovery from that. And we haven't necessarily seen the crypto asset market, Bitcoin, and the others perform when there has been a global pullback of sorts. Yesterday, a good number of stocks, equities in the US, and since abroad, the sell-off has spread from the US to Asia to Europe. Basically, globally, we're seeing a sell-off right now with the traditional markets down 4%. And it was funny because I was joking to myself, hey, looking at this is the first time my 401k and just my general ETFs that I hold outside of crypto, this is the first time my 401k has actually sold off worse than crypto, albeit 3 or 4 hours later. We sold off harder. But the thing to keep an eye on here, and there's a couple things to take into consideration, but generally speaking, is the overall correlation. I don't think necessarily anybody knows exactly what's going to happen. I think there's kind of two just general theories as a whole. One is that there is an inverse correlation between the stocks or the just general traditional market and crypto, because if the general market goes down, people are going to need a safe haven asset like Bitcoin instead of, or like Bitcoin or gold instead of something like the equities markets. On the other end of the spectrum, people are looking at it and saying, hey, Bitcoin and all these other crypto assets, they're speculative assets, and they're something that people use to essentially speculate on when they have excess capital that they are receiving essentially from making positive returns from the traditional markets. So which one is it? Is it somewhere in between? I don't necessarily know at this point in time. I don't think anybody does. First of all, we have to see really a continued global financial sell-off and not just a 3% pullback. Is this the start of it? I think a lot of people seem to think it is, but we'll have to keep that in mind. Now, one thing when you're just looking at crypto as a whole, so we've lost about $17 billion in market cap. We're now below $200 billion. So the general crypto asset marketplace is down 8%. So down about twice what the traditional markets are right now. Pretty incredible thing about the just overall market cap is down about 8%. But when you put that into just big picture, with the crypto asset market down $17 billion, Jeff Bezos himself lost $9.1 billion from his personal fortune yesterday alone. That's how small the crypto market is as a whole. I think it's something that a lot of times we forget, because you look at your own portfolio and you think like, hey, I lost quite a bit of money. This is very real money to me. When you look at the overall market cap of crypto, Bitcoin, and you compare that to simply even the market cap of some of the larger tech stocks out there, you can see how small this asset class is still in comparison to what else is out there. And I think that's kind of crazy to think about now that, we're still under a $200 billion market cap once again. Now, looking at a couple different things. So one of the big things I think, we want to look at is the price of Bitcoin and just the general market crash. It happened really within a 1 to 2 hour time frame. And I think a lot of this is, personally, in my opinion, due to some of the Tether FUD that is out there right now. So obviously, I'm sure a lot of you are intimately familiar with Tether, with USDT. Some of you might be trading or keeping money in exchanges with Tether. And There are some significant concerns growing now about Bitfinex, specifically Bitfinex's banking license and the viability of Tether as a whole. And I think a lot of that came to fruition yesterday. And what we're also seeing is, I think there was a bit of front running on the news. You can see a little bit of a sell off here, and then it just kind of drops off the face of the earth with a quick $300-400 candle from Bitcoin. And shout out to the Block, who's been covering this, I think, pretty well. But so Bitfinex is apparently pausing all USD deposits and expects the situation to normalize within a week. So a lot of this, there is a close relationship between Bitfinex and Tether. And when there is FUD about, when there's fear, I don't necessarily want to say FUD, but yeah, when there's fear about solvency issues and issues at Bitfinex and banking relationships, that is typically enough to move the market. And Larry from the Block talking a little bit about Bitfinex has paused all USD deposits, expects the situation to normalize in a week, but there is broad speculation about the banking issues. Bitfinex and Tether, they were using a bank called Noble Bank in Puerto Rico that is apparently up for sale and is in dire financial issues. Apparently, they're now banking with HSBC through a private account, but who knows if that is actually the case. So there is actually no active method to deposit money into Bitfinex at this point in time. And because of that, one of the really interesting things here is that Tether is actually trading, or TrueUSD as well as Paxos are actually trading at a premium to Tether at this point in time. So right now, if you go to Binance, you can actually see, I'll pull it up on my own screen. But if you go to Binance right now, you can see that both TrueUSD and Paxos Standard, which are Paxos specifically is a regulated fiat-backed stablecoin created by the Paxos exchange, which is the Paxos company, which runs itBit and has a number of Bitcoin, but it's a regulated in the US exchange that is supposed to have a verified dollar per dollar ratio. And right now people are paying $1.02 to $1.03 for Paxos Standard and TrueUSD because those have more trust than Tether. So people are literally willing to pay $1.03 to get rid of their Tether to get into something that they believe is potentially more stable for the time being. So I think that's pretty incredible and pretty interesting to watch out for at this point in time. And you're going to want to keep an eye on those premiums because if they get crazy, it might continue to just be a sign of the market showing that there's really not a ton of trust in Tether. One thing I would say to this as well is I don't think it's the worst idea if you have a ton of money in Tether to maybe move it out of Tether. I think if there are significant issues with Tether, you are going to see a broad sell-off regardless. But if you're looking for a stable coin, I don't know if I would necessarily want to entrust my personal fortune into Tether. Maybe check out Paxos or TrueUSD or one of the other, or the Gemini one or whatever it might be, but something that is 100% has a dollar per dollar and actually should stay at $1 regardless of the issues potentially with Tether as a whole. So something to keep in mind, and keep an eye on the Paxos and TrueUSD premiums on Binance at this point. And popping over here to a tweet. This is tomorrow. The Senate today, as of the time of reading this, but the Senate Banking Committee is holding a cryptocurrency hearing, and there are two testimonies. One is Peter Valkenburgh from Coin Center, which is a crypto lobbying group essentially in Washington, D.C. that represents a number of crypto interests and exchanges and things of that nature. And then you have Nouriel Roubini, who is one of the more esteemed crypto haters out there. But this is going to be something that's going to be fun to watch. I will likely try to catch this if I can, if it's being streamed or anything like that. But you gotta listen to my man Nouriel's testimony and exactly what he's saying, because you can actually go and you can read through the testimony. You can read through the testimony already. The documents are live, but the title of Nouriel Roubini's testimony is this: crypto is the mother of all scams and now busted bubbles. While blockchain is the most overhyped technology ever, no better than a spreadsheet database. So that is our man Nouriel Roubini talking about crypto and blockchain solutions. He is a professor of economics at the at New York or NYU at Stern School of Business. There was one of the apparently more effective ones calling the financial crisis between 2007 and 2009, and has now moved on. He has effectively earned the nickname Dr. Doom. He has now moved on from calling doom on the global financial crisis to the crypto markets, and is kind of making a second career out of that at this point in time. We'll see how Peter does in terms of debating Nouriel. So hopefully Peter can hold up there, because having the U.S. Senate Committee on Banking hear the not so nice things that Nouriel Roubini is going to say and has said for 4 years. I'll give Nouriel credit. He's been talking shit about Bitcoin since 2014, I believe. So he's been in the game for 4 years, been a hater for 4 years. So I'll give him credit there. But hopefully Peter can, from Coin Center, can effectively disengage some of the arguments, and mostly tired arguments, I think, that Nouriel has in regards to Bitcoin and other crypto assets. Now, the last thing I'll say is, I'm right now just keeping an eye kind of on the market. I don't think there's a lot of positive momentum at this point in time. I think we are, kind of slowly building up some steam, and it's incredible how quickly one negative story, in this case, in my personal opinion, it's the Bitfinex and Tether fear around that, as well as what the global markets are doing as a whole. But it's incredible how quickly the crypto asset markets can shift, and what we'll end up seeing here. So I'm just kind of sitting back prepared. If we dip below the $6,000 mark, the $5,800 mark, I think we're in for a not so fun free fall. So I'm preparing for that, and getting some dry powder on the sidelines, ready to roll, and we'll see exactly how things pan out, and we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop on that. Outside of that, folks, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that subscribe button, hit the notify bell so you get these videos as quickly as they come out. Thank you so much for your time. Crypto Bobby signing out. Hope you have a good one. Peace.